course, it's football. It's at the World Cup here in South Africa, and we're talking everything that's to do with soccer, the biggest sports tournament in the world, at least on a single sport. Now, we're joined from London by Mark Roberts. He's from the Deloitte Sports Group. Mark, good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, good afternoon.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Let's talk about the value of African football. I mean, globally, we have seen the revenue from broadcasting from football growing. We have seen it in the UK, and we've seen the kind of wages that are being paid the players there. But what about on the continent of Africa? Are we seeing a similar kind of growth?
Yeah, well, I think if you, as you rightly say, in terms of the continent of Europe, there's been tremendous growth in both broadcasting as well as match day attendances and commercial, that is the sponsorship revenues. Now I guess that Africa, and obviously with the World Cup as a catalyst, would be looking to kickstart its revenue growth in all of those areas, particularly on in the area of stadiums and match day attendances.
Mm. And in terms of when you look at those numbers, do you see this growth being spread across the whole of the continent, or we're talking about specific pockets here? I mean, we do know that in South Africa, the league here is quite strong, and we also have strong leagues in places like Kenya as well as Nigeria.
Yeah, one would hope so. That obviously this the tournament at the moment is obviously being presented as the African World Cup. Obviously, it's located in the south, but I think it's very much seen as an African World Cup, and would hope that it would kickstart a growth in a number of other areas around the continent. Absolutely.
Now, one of the issues that we've seen arising out of the growth in football, and particularly in the UK, is the issue of player costs and the wages that are paid to those players. I think European football players, when you look at the wages, are paid fantastically by any standard of measure. Now, do you see that being a threat to the growth of the game? Let's talk Europe here as well as to the African continent.
Yeah, in terms of definitely in terms of Europe, the number one issue at the moment is costs, the cost side of the business. It's now in terms of the big five leagues in Europe, that is England, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, wage costs are now over 5 billion euros. So it is significant, and it is it's rising faster than income growth in a lot of areas. So it is the area that needs to be focused on. And again, that needs to be taken into account when leagues around the rest of the world are looking to grow their own tournaments. Yeah,
but is enough being done, do you think, by the leagues themselves, as well as, of course, the governing bodies like FIFA as well as UEFA, to try and tackle the problem and get things right before there's a crisis?
Yeah, well, at the moment, obviously, it's very much a free market, and you know, the level of wages is dictated by supply and demand. So what certainly in Europe the governing body UEFA is looking to do is to introduce its club licensing system, and off the back of that financial fair play, where clubs have to only spend what they generate in income. So there should be a sort of levelling off of some of the, or this is what UEFA hope, there'll be some levelling off of maybe some of that wage inflation that's occurred in the last few years, and that clubs will return to more of a break-even situation.
Now, we know, of course, about the big African football stars. We know about the Didier Drogbas of this world, the Michael Essiens, the Samuel Eto'os. Now, what kind of an impact do you see the Football World Cup that's being held here in South Africa having on the growth of African football players? Let's speak first in terms of their marketability and also the impact on the growth of the game on the continent itself.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a couple of points to make there. Obviously, the tournament and the number of players that there's obviously 650, 700 so players at the tournament. So there's obviously an opportunity for them to show their wares to not only the rest of the continent, but at the rest of the world in terms of the TV audiences. And obviously that then allows clubs and coaches and scouts from all over the world to see these players, maybe for the first time. And it's very much seen as a shop window for talent. And previous World Cups the transfer market afterwards has obviously been increased as a result of the shop window of the World Cup.
I can tell you one of the players who has caught my eyes, the Nigerian goalkeeper, I think it's Victor Onyema. He has been fantastic. We saw him stop literally Messi from scoring, and that's a great achievement indeed. So we certainly hope he's going places. But I have to put you on the spot, sitting there in London, and ask you who you think is going to take the cup away.
Yeah, well, obviously, probably my heart says one thing, and you'll know that's probably my own country. But my head says that there's probably a number of other countries who've looked quite good. But it's still early days in the tournament, so hopefully England can pull through.
Indeed, I see you refusing to commit. I was certainly hoping that you would say, when you have a player like Lionel Messi, you certainly have stood a chance better than most. But Mark Roberts from Deloitte, thanks very much indeed. Go on, yeah. Excellent.
No, sorry, I was just going to say that obviously the Germans and the Argentinians look very good.
Your European heart is still in it. Thanks very much indeed, Mark, for joining us.